Juan, what up everybody on YouTube? It's your boy C for 3, back with another video. Hop right into it. We're gonna call this one Mercury Gives You Wings, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to everybody into astrology. It's Gemini season. Yeah, Gemini season been doing this thing, you know, a lot of mental shit. So we're gonna talk about Mercury right now, you dig? So yeah, man, I hope y'all been doing good, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to light this weed. Shout out to all my Geminis. Shout out to my sister. Her birthday was yesterday. And shout out to my grandpa. His birthday was the day before. And I'm gonna make a whole nother separate video about organic gematria and how that shit works. But shit. Until then, just gonna keep it astrology based right now. So yeah, shout out to the Gemini people in my life. I fuck with them. Gemini people, first of all, they're very smart. They love to communicate, talk. Very funny, witty type of people, you know. My grandpa and my sister, there were two people in my life that can always make me laugh. I mean, my grandpa, he passed away. My sister, she's right around 27 years old, coming up to her Saturn return. But as a Gemini, they always on the go. They usually have a lot of friends in the community. It's about buying and selling. They could be really good at buying and selling things. Some good ass weed, y'all. Y'all excuse me. Shit. Good ass fucking weed. And yeah, Mercury, Gemini people, they're real good at motherfucking commerce, because you have to talk to people, be willing to sell things, be willing to make that ideal pop. You know, you have to be able to talk. So it's one positive about Gemini season and how Mercury could give you wings to take you where you need to go in life. So let's just hop into it, man. Like, a lot of people in astrology, they don't know too much about Mercury. You know, a lot of people know their sun sign. Like, I'm breaking down, my sister is a Gemini, my grandpa is a Gemini. It's Gemini season now. We're in June. The NBA finals happens every Gemini season. So you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know about all this. Like, a lot of people might just know, like I say, I'm a Gemini, or they might know I'm a Leo. I'm born in July the next month. I'm a Leo, you know. Some people might just know that. And your sun sign is really like your ego. Yeah, your sun sign is like your ego, how you really see yourself, how you really, you know, take pride with everything, how you really might take things personal in a nutshell, how you really see with that vision going forward. But, you know, and everybody might know their moon sign. That's like the most popular sign. I would say the moon sign. People know the moon sign rules your emotion. It rules how you feel when you're kind of by yourself, when you got that nighttime feeling, when we all cool down from our ego. When the ego goes down, we're into our moon sign. It's kind of how that operates, how you can see that right now. So that's how a lot of people might know their moon sign. I'm a Taurus moon, so I'm a very chill Leo. I'm not a real explosive Leo. I can be, I have been. I've been in a lot of trials and tribulations. But me knowing myself as a Taurus moon, I'm able to tap into that when I'm a real chill vibe to be around, you know? And so the next thing we're going to talk about is how Mercury can give you wings, because obviously you can't get wings on their back here. We're not fucking angels, right? But wings as in the mindset. So let's vibe higher here. Let's go deeper. So Mercury, it deals with your mind, your intellect, your communication, your brain, how you talk, how you write. It rules Gemini and Virgo in astrology. The planet Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So Gemini and Virgo are both signs that like to do a lot. Gemini like to do a lot. Virgo like to do a lot and see into the details. And these are two archetypes of the planet Mercury, right? So it deals with just everything that makes us a human, pretty much. Like, I feel like animals, even if they had a Mercury sign, you'll have like a really smart animal based on their Mercury sign. That's a whole other story. But as far as humans, we have a bigger brain capacity or something like that. They tell us in like science class or something like that. Our brains are like bigger than dogs and cats or whatever. So we have more of a mercurial component to us. You know what I'm saying? So you even look in the history of Mercury, the mythology of Mercury, you know, it is the god of commerce. It is the god of communication, the god of travel. So that's kind of funny how those things rule Gemini, and those things are associated with Virgo, especially when you talk about commerce. I think a lot of Virgo people would be real good at business and selling because they can talk, and they're real good at being detail oriented, mercurial with their the things they're into. You know what I'm saying? So if you look back at the history of Mercury, the mythology, it has a winged helmet. You know, it's the god of commerce, communication, and travel. So when they draw Mercury back in like the Greek and Roman days, they always put like a helmet on his head. You know, that was during like the war period, you know, the Spartan movies. Well, Mercury always had a helmet on his head with wings on it. So that's why we're saying Mercury gives you wings, because if you're able to read, write, draw, create fantasy worlds, be the person that builds the architect for buildings, skyscrapers, flags, schematics, everything we see, even this Boston logo, the Apple iPhone, you know, Mercury gives you wings. Everything is possible to go to the next level and to ascend if you have the right mindset, the right Mercury. And it almost comes with even just knowing your Mercury and knowing yourself and tapping in with the higher ideologies. This is all Mercury, right? So this is why we say Mercury gives you wings. You ever been a person who is sitting in your house and like, I'm bored today, let me just turn on my fucking video game, and like you'll be playing your game for like 30 minutes to an hour, say something like Assassin's Creed, one of my favorite games. By the time you know that, you boom, you into this world, you all into it. It's like it's all in your mind, but you're sitting in your seat. You still wherever the fuck you at in Kansas, you know what I'm saying? Or shout out to Boston. You in Boston somewhere. You just chilling, you know what I'm saying? So that's the power of Mercury. So also in the Roman pantheon, it's called Mercury, but if it goes further, they got this from the Greek god Hermes. So that's why we get, you know, the word hermic and hermetics and things like that. And, you know, it's just all wordplay. It's all God play. It's all representing the same thing and let you know your mindset could give you wings. You're Mercury. You know what I'm saying? It's real deep here. So the point of this video is to just let you know we have something in us as humans on this earth. Our souls can tap into our Mercury sign and we can learn how to vibe high. Like a lot of people might hear a lot of things in astrology and talks and occultic lectures and like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's a lot of info, right? The point of all this info is so we can control our lives here on earth and make sense of it, man, and know that God is with us. And even the Bible tells you this in the book of James. You know, I really wish I had the exact scripture quoted out, but it's in the book of James, one of my favorite books in the Bible. The book of James is all about speech and how you talk, you know? They say the tongue is like a rudder of the ship. It rules where it goes, and your body is like a ship, the vessel. You are a corporation. So in order to control the corporation, right? If your body is a corporation, and the book of James say the tongue guides the ship, you have to understand that Mercury controls your mindset, controls your whole life, body, perception, everything from the top down, like a CEO. Your Mercury is like the CEO of your body. And Mercury is going to give you wings to vibe to the top of your game, the top of who you want to be humanistically, soul-wise, everything. You got to have the right mindset, and we all know that. So, you know, Mercury also in the Roman pantheon is the child of Jupiter, right? And they say Mercury rules the left side of the brain. Jupiter rules the right side of the brain. So to break this down, Mercury is more of our left brain, common sense, how we think, how we draw, how we read, how we write, how we make sense of things. You know what I'm saying? Or in this generation, it would be the male side of the brain. You get that? Mercury, male, that type of energy. You get it? So it'll be that left side of the brain. And the right side is by Jupiter. Intuition, how you just know things without knowing, being lucky. The right brain, how you draw intuition, draw on things all of a sudden. That's right brain logic. That's Jupiter. So even knowing how your brain is split into duality, and Mercury deals with duality per astrology, this type of lesson, type of shit that I'm telling y'all about Mercury, or fucking make you vibe high, it almost could save your life, you know, because you'll start to go into subjects at work, or you'll start to go into places with anybody, family, yourself, work, relationships, having sex, going deep dive, higher education, college, learning, career, friends, just anything you like, hobbies in life, knowing how you communicate, knowing how you talk, really make a big difference in the world you live, and knowing how you think, right? And knowing how you can process that and vibe with your own self. Like, most people might know how their car works, the ins and out of this piece right here and this seatbelt and all this, but how well do you know the body that God gave us, right? How well do you study your own manual? I call astrology and all these things I teach on my channel, Seed for 3, you know, music, basketball, astrology, you know, astrology and basketball in motion. Like, if you know and understand these concepts, you just understand that a lot of this is patterns, a lot of this stuff is paying attention, a lot of this in this world is just knowing who you are, knowing what other people are. It's like basketball. All right, if you want to be good in basketball, know your strengths and weaknesses and know the other person's strengths and weaknesses. You know their tendencies, you know what I'm saying? So astrology, if we're going to be playing the game of life, hint, hint, you want to know how strong you are in certain areas, how weak you are in certain areas, vice versa with the environment around you, the people around you. It's the same concept. So that's why, you know, I try to coin the term astrology and basketball in motion. You know, I gotta get used to saying it. Sometimes I say it backwards, but astrology and basketball in motion, the thing keep going. You know, the infinity loop, the circle, you know, it keeps going. The spiral coils of our hairs, it keep going. We get older, new people born, people die every day. So knowing these things about Mercury, you know, you understand these things. And one of the things about Mercury too, in mythology, it was the only sign that could move between heaven and hell, this world and the underworld and the higher realms. So Mercury was fucking multi-dimensional, right? And we see a lot of things now. We're entering the multiverse with Spider-Man, the metaverse and all this. So we're living in the age of Aquarius, which is a trine to a Mercury ruled sign by Gemini, and the moon is in Aquarius right now. So overstand all this, and if you guys want to learn more about astrology, I can always do a birth chart for you guys. Tap in with me. But knowing all these air sign topics is knowing now we are moving now from a time of when, quote unquote, Jesus was walking the earth and living in that story and that concept of feeling it and having an emotional connection, to we're moving in a time when you have to know your Mercury. You have to know the laws of the land. You have to know this astrology, astronomy, math, commerce, internet things, new technology, right? I mean, everybody got an iPhone at this point, right? This is YouTube. This is a new wave of technology. Even my grandma's knowing how to text. My grandma's knowing how to watch videos online. I mean, come on. And we're just at the tip of this Aquarian age, right? And the age is like 2,100 years, if people don't know that, right? Give you the 3 again. I think it's 2,100 years, 2,700 years. I think if whatever you add it up, it's going to add to a number of 3 or a number of 9, which is the, you know, the mutable numbers. If you know even about astrology, 3, 6, 9, the 3rd house, 6th house, and the 9th house, the changeable houses, right? This is all occultic knowledge, man. So Mercury, if it's able to bring you to hell, watch your mindset. If Mercury is able to keep you here present, work on that. If Mercury is able to make you vibe high, work on that, higher concepts. So Mercury gives you wings in so many ways. And for example, per astrology, I'm a person that has Mercury and Leo. So I can be seen very bold to people in the way I talk. I could be a person that's on YouTube right now in my own lane, my own sector, not giving a fuck, just talking my shit, doing my thing, lighting my fucking joint. Like, I'm kind of bold. I like the fire. You see fire? I got fire around me. I got a Leo stellium, right? And then even going deeper and knowing your Mercury, this is why you should have an astrologer in your life, or hopefully you know your birth chart. I'm a person that has Mercury conjunct Venus. So my Mercury, in a way, when I talk to women, shout out to all the beautiful women out there. When I talk to women, I usually charm them very easily. It's easy for me to sell things. Sometimes I have a very soft way of speaking, right? So this is why you want to know your birth chart and your gifts and curses that come with everything in there. It's like a car manual. It's a lot of things that go on to make this thing go vroom, 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 vroom. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely want to be in control of the Mercury. I'm a Mercury and Leo, so at times I gotta watch from being hot-headed in the way I talk, stubborn in my ideals. Sometimes I believe something and that's fucking it. And I know it's bad, it's a detriment at times, but Mercury and Leo is a fixed sign. So also, I try to be more positive than others. I don't like to come on here and give doom and gloom. There's always something to be positive about. I don't give a fuck what's happening in this world. There's always something to be positive about. Coming from a nigga who been through the most, you know. And with my Mercury conjunct Venus, there's always something you can think about to love on your mind and vibe higher, right? And so to be more of a detriment with myself, I have Mercury and Leo is square Pluto. So a lot of times the things I can say can almost lead me into death-defying situations. I can be verbally killed at jobs, meaning I get terminated, I get fired. I've gotten to it with family members, relationships. I might be seen as a little bossy, authoritative. You know, Pluto is power, so I try to speak with power. So even though Mercury square Pluto is a harsh placement per astrology, because it gives things I say real harsh demeanor, quote unquote, flavoring to it, quote unquote, you can transmute this and vibe high by knowing me having Mercury square Pluto. I'm a type of person that can see deeply into the occult with my mindset, which is why I do videos based on occult rituals and astrology measurements in most of my videos, right? So in a nutshell, I'm just saying, the more you learn your birth chart, the more you know your Mercury, which is your mindset, how you think. Also, you know, back to the Roman pantheon, a god of commerce, communication, and travel. You know, I like to travel with certain music on. I like to drive fast. I'm a Mercury and Leo. But I am protective over my people. I'm protective over the things I say in my intellectual property. I take pride in my videos. I take pride in rap songs I made. So it makes me real prideful. Now, you know, there's so many Mercury signs all across the zodiac out of 12 and different alignments and aspects. You can have conjunctions, you can have trines, you can have sextiles, oppositions, squares, and conjunctions, all type of things. You know, tap in if you want a birth chart. But saying all this to say, learn who you are and vibe high. You know, the Mercury gives you the wings to really shape who you are. Really, as a Mercury and Leo, let's go into astrology. I know I do good with other Mercury fire signs. Like, you can be a fucking Scorpio, right? But if you got Mercury and Sagittarius, we're the type of people that's going to probably vibe with talking truth. Higher level fire sign shit, not scared to shine the fire on people, right? So your Mercury has an element. If you're a Mercury and Earth person, you might be a person that really talk about practical matters, common sense, how to save Earth, nature type topics. You might be into like saving trees. You might be into like projects that's like real estate, things like that, you know. So, or you might be into really making money, making videos on YouTube, telling people how to start accounting or the tax hacks and things like that. So your Mercury is going to flavor a lot of things in your life. So real video, trill video. I'm trying to make this in Mercury season right now because we're in Gemini. I'm gonna give you guys some occultic tricks. You really want to control your Mercury because the government knows that Mercury gives you wings to believe what the fuck ever. So, you know, really think deep about things that they showing you in the news. For example, Jamie Foxx. Come on. Jamie Foxx in the Mercury season, Mercury deals with duality. So they tell us one day he's fine, the next day he's fucking blind and paralyzed, and I barely see people on the internet bring it up because it's like a collective conscious they're doing to bury it. They're not talking about it a lot. But when Jamie Foxx first went down, it was a thing to get us to talk about it, give our energy to it, because his daughter came out with a statement. All these news outlets came out with a statement. So in a nutshell, Mercury season, you want to know your Mercury so the government doesn't play games with you. These celebrities don't play games with you. You seeing so much. Another story, DC Youngfly has his wife sacrificed in Miami, allegedly. We don't know if it's a sacrifice per se, but she died doing some surgery, and she died in Miami. Not to mention that the NBA Finals is in Miami right now. And I'm just going to put my prediction out here. I think the Heat are going to win the NBA Finals in 7 games. I have a real strong feeling based on the fact that Joe Biden fell in Denver. So, in Denver, mountain, mile high, all that type of stuff. I think that just means the Denver Nuggets are going to eventually lose to the Heat. I don't know. It's just how I'm feeling. We'll just see how that goes. You know, I think it's going to go game 7. The Nuggets just won. But this is what I'm saying. Knowing your Mercury is to the point, and I'm 30 years old, so I may look young, but I'm doing these videos because I've been like studying these things like pretty much my whole 20s. Since I made like probably 22, I've been like seeing things in the NBA Finals and commercials and shit like this, and just knowing what season we're in. We're in Mercury season, so it's a lot of talking from a lot of talking heads. There's a lot of games being played. It's a lot of distractions. It's Pride Month. It's Mental Health Month. There's so many games being played since May, June, Gemini season started. So, and in Roman mythology, Mercury is the trickster god. It tricks Jupiter a bunch of times, his father. So Mercury is one of the few planets that's able to do this duality trickster thing. So like I said, you want to know your Mercury. Maybe you're a person born with Mercury and Gemini, and you're a person that love to play fucking pranks. You're a person that might know a lot of foreign languages, you know what I'm saying? Or you're a person that just have multiple friends, you know? So just vibe high with this information, man. Mercury gives you wings to ascend to the highest levels that you can if you vibe high enough, or the lowest levels if you let the government give you propaganda. This celebrity doing this celebrity doing that, Blueface and Krishan doing this, Erykah Badu cursing a motherfucker like this, Shaq trying to fuck Brittany Renner. Like, we get it, right? But you want to understand that it's all rituals 9 times out of 10, and it begins with knowing these astrological placements. You know a little gematria. You just know what's going on. So you want to study these things. You want to stay astute. You want to stay astute. You want to stay tuned in. I want to say astute, but you want to stay tuned in, tapped in, because when your Mercury knows, you can almost see the cross from a mile away based on how people talk. This is how deep the smartest people know about body language, double speak, double agency, sarcasm, and how to really see through the occult. Like I told you guys, my Mercury is square Pluto in the 8th house. Now, if you know that, I just gave you guys a code to me. Now, if you're a person who see this video, you want a shadow card reading, aka a tarot card reading, hit me up. If you want a birth chart, hit me up. All of my regular work, just simple work, is for $7. But if you want any in-depth work, when I tell you about your chart, gifts and curses, you know, things like that, go a little deeper with your birth chart, I can do videos, I can do audios, we can meet in person. Just let me know. That goes for $15. Y'all just let me know. My IG is Seed Hoops. You can find me on that. I do most of my links on my videos here on IG. If you follow me on Facebook, hit me up. If you follow me on Snapchat, hit me up. If you know me in real life, hit me up, call me, let me know, because this Gemini season let you know this ain't nothing about money. This ain't nothing about getting money. That was Taurus season. That was the Earth season. We should got that lesson. This is about the mercurial games that's being played, and pay attention to how many school shootings and shit you hear in Gemini season. A lot of people not talking about it, but a high school graduation got shot like a couple days ago in Virginia at VCU. So just know when it deals with these people, Gemini season, the air season. So just, you know, pay attention to the script. And shout out to all the people on YouTube who know what's up. Shout out to all the people who spreading truth wherever they at.